Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Kashif Booth podcast. Today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the upcoming potentials, Top Boy spin off, and my thoughts on how TV shows are marketed within the UK. It was announced last week that the creator of Top Boy, Ronan Bennett, is reportedly in talks with Netflix about a spin off which will be centered around the character Jack. And I'm in two minds about this. For those who don't know, Top Boy originally debuted back in 2011 on Channel 4 and lasted for 2 seasons before it was then rebooted on Netflix in 2019 due to the backing of the superstar rapper Drake. Throughout the 5 series run, there were some criticisms of Ronan's dialogue and outdated slang throughout the series, which I do agree with. I feel like the excessive use of the word bruv was a bit too much, and there were criticisms that it should be a black person writing it, or more black writers should be a part of the writing process, as Ronan is a white man from originally from Belfast who later on in life moved to Hackney. And even Ashley Waters was questioned about this during the promo run for the final season late last year. Ashley was asked if the show could be accused of cultural voyeurism. Ashley responded saying, "Let me be frank. It would have been ideal for black people's stories to have been told by a black person, so I did scrutinize Ronan, but understanding the people he consulted for the script was key." In my opinion, I feel like if they do commission a spin-off, I feel like it should be written by a black person, or there should be several black writers attached, because a specific part of the black experience is being told, and I feel like that should be told through the lens of a black person. When you take in some of the criticisms of the show with the outdated slang and sometimes excessive or over the top storylines, it would be nice if there's more realism with it. You shouldn't have to consult with people who are close to the story. If you just hire people who have some sort of connection with it, are able to tell stories more authentically. And that's what I think should happen. There should be more writers' rooms with black writers or people who have shared that lived experience, because Top Boy and what they're sharing in within that story and within that world is very specific to a certain demographic of people, and I feel like that is what's missing. And when you look at the history of black British shows which have been told within this country, it has been attached to a right writers, and we're in such an era now with so many shows such as Jimmy Moss Black, Grime Kids, Champion, Prue, upcoming Queenie. There's so many more who I haven't even mentioned, which feature such predominantly black writers and within a black cast, and those shows have been doing relatively well. And that's because they've actually invested in black talent, and black people are seeing the representation that they want to see and are able to accurately represent themselves on screen, and that's what we want. So I feel like if a spin-off does move forward, black writers should be attached. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I also don't know if a spin-off is necessary. I'm not sure if we need to continue making the franchise Top Boy. I feel like it would be great if I feel like stories like this need to be told, especially with like past films like Adulthood and that whole franchise and Blue Story. Let's keep that narrative going, but let's breathe life into a new set of characters, and I think that would be good. Some people who are from different parts of the world, because of this culture, it represents not just London, but parts of the country. So it'd be great if there was more of these stories told in, Birmingham or Manchester, because there's so many different, aspects of the black British person. So that would be good to see. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see a spin-off? Are you interested potentially in Jack's story, and seeing where they could take that? Do you feel like there should be black writers attached this time around? Let me know your thoughts. In late 2023, I did a Twitter thread about why I think the show Riches was cancelled. And I think it's down to the marketing. I feel like it's the way how black British shows, or British shows in general, are marketed across the UK. I've noticed in the last I would say maybe the last 5 years or so, a lot of British shows, even films as well, are heavily marketed through the use of social media, and I don't think that's a good idea. Social media is a great marketing tool. It is, trailers or segments or scenes or sequences from a show or a film can go viral, and that could garner a lot of attention across social media and through the sense of word of mouth across social media to the show, and that could work amazingly. But it still is only a very small community and is only targeting one demographic, and I feel like that also cuts out reaching a larger audience or a bigger audience. The reason why I say that is because when I look at the success of certain shows, especially black British shows, a lot of people don't know about it. So, for example, I know about Dreaming Miles Back because I was a fan of the web series, and I know Ajani Salmon, the writer, creator, and star of Dreaming Miles Black. So I knew the success. I was following him and knowing his journey, so I knew that show was coming. But people who don't know anything about his web series and the history, they don't know the show. I've had so many conversations with people, just regular, and they're just like, "Oh, I've never heard of this. What? I don't know this," and they're quick to add it to their list and stuff like that because there's no print media ads about this. The most I see about shows being promoted is through daytime TV and social media now, or the evening news to add, but that's because I work from home. So that's if by chance I've got the TV on in the background and I'm just watching it, and that's when I see a show being promoted, but that's not enough because the target audience of these shows don't watch daytime TV, or they're at work, or they're not watching the evening news, right? So how are people going to actually see the shows like Champion, like Grime Kids, like Prue? Like there's so many shows. Like there's so many, even beyond the Black British shows that I keep mentioning. But those are the first ones that always pop into my head. But there's so many that have come out within the last year or so, and people don't know about it because the marketing budgets are only going to a social media manager, which isn't enough. We need to bring back print media. We need billboards, we need bus ads, we need posters on the tube. We need that up and down the country. And I think you're limiting your viewership because, yes, to a certain degree, a lot of shows are targeted just to a specific audience, but if we're going to reach a wider audience, then you need to promote it heavily. You need to put the money into that. Now, I know that they probably have a marketing budget for that, and that's it. They're not going to break the bank, they're not going to push it any further, but it would be nice if you take the risk, because when it comes to black and brown shows specifically, if they don't get the viewing numbers, some executives allegedly might say, well, we made the show starring black and brown people and it didn't get the numbers. But if you're not targeting the audiences properly, then how are you going to get the numbers? You can't just rely heavily on social media, because social media is so algorithm based that if you consume film and TV, you watch film and TV commentary videos, film and TV reviews, then you're going to see that show, shows that you like, or specific shows or TV or films on your algorithm, and then you're going to know about new shows. So it's like, oh, let me check this out. But if you don't consume that, if like when you're on social media and you're not watching clips from TV shows or films or reviews of films and TV shows or commentary videos, you're not going to see it. If you consume mostly music on social media, pop culture, sports, you watch funny cat videos. Like, if you watch a certain specific thing on social media, you're not going to know about shows. And then when you do sponsored ads, it's also going to only do sponsored ads to the demographic of who consume or look up the things you're promoting. Like, that's literally it. That's how it works. So you need to go back to traditional forms of marketing, which is print ads. They need to be in magazines, newspapers. They need to be everywhere so that people can see it, because it will then pique people's interest. So that's how you promote stuff, you know. We need to see this. Like, I know that, you know, a show could be heavily promoted on the network, but again, if people don't watch live TV, how they're going to know that? So you really have to push beyond the realms of what is just safe. You know, there needs to be more, and that's what's lacking when it comes to the marketing of British shows, or, you know, up and down the country, because people just don't know about it. There's been some shows as well for me that I've not known about unless I've seen it on social media, people talking about it. And I'm a filmmaker, so of course I'm going to see people talk about it, but we need to see more promotion. Like when I'm going to work, when I'm out and about with my friends, I should see posters of, you know, I should see posters of shows. You know, anytime I see promotions of shows, you know, are for streaming services like Netflix, Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, that's when I see it, and that's how people know about it. So these British networks need to do the same. They need to put money into investing into the marketing of shows, because then people will know it. Because outside of your phone, when you have to go out your house to go shopping and, you know, go to work, see your friends, and get in your car to drive, you know, if you then you're gonna see it. You know, people are gonna see all these posters and be like, oh, what's that? Pique their interest, then they'll look it up, and then they know where they can go and watch the show. That's just, I'm very passionate about this because I feel like people, some executives allegedly will use this as an excuse as to why they don't want to commission more shows with black and brown people. But it's like you're not putting in the work to actually promote the show so that there's awareness of it. You know, stop trying to, you know, allegedly tick box and actually put the money where your mouth is and promote it properly, you know, because we can have, I feel like we can have the Black Hollywood in the UK if there's more faith and belief in the stories that black and brown people are telling. But I feel like I went off in a little rant because I'm just so passionate about this. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you agree with what I've said? What's your thoughts on the marketing of British shows within the UK? And what are some of your ideas to market British shows and films? Let me know. Thanks, guys, for listening. You can follow me all on my usual socials. At Twitter is at Kashif Podcast, and on Instagram at the Kashif Podcast. So hit me up. Let me know what you thought of the episode. It'd be great to hear your opinion on, you know, do you think Top Boy should get a spin off with Jack? Do you agree with me that there should be some black writers this time if it is commissioned? And what are your thoughts on British marketing of TV shows and films? What are your ideas and what would you do differently?